Hello. Welcome to another episode of Self Care Sunday with Tara and Bella.
Welcome. Hey, Amuta.
Hi. Yes, so today, as you guys can see, we have the very delicious, delectable,
Wow.
pampericious. I need another adjective. No, she's
You
giving.
wildin'.
She's giving so much.
Always gives.
The queen, the
Long may
queenly
she
queen, Amuta
Amuta.
Stone.
So good to be here.
Our
with my
girlie
queens.
who
Aw.
we love.
I love you.
Okay, you
ladies
guys,
So
So
much.
happy that you finally get
Amuta
it.
is like one of those people that wears so many hats in life, but yet she does it with so much ease. She's a singer, a songwriter, a model, an actress.
A web designer?
Yes.
Tell us more.
What else?
Tell the people.
Sell your market.
Yeah.
Sell your market.
I'm a creative. I create.
Yes. Okay. Great. And before we get into the what I call it, the gist of today, we just want to say thank you so much for the love on the last episode. You guys sent us such positive feedback. Thank you. If you haven't seen it yet, I guess that means you're new here. So you should go
get
check
to
it out.
it.
And you
Yes.
should also subscribe because there's more coming in the future. And would love to give a shout out to our amazing host, Ernesto, Uncle Ernie.
Uncle Ernest.
And also Evelyn, our girlie behind the camera.
Yes,
Yes,
girlie. We see you, girl. Hey.
Okay, so now that that's out of the way, Bella,
Hey,
please tell the
boos.
people what we're talking about today.
So yes, episode 2, guys. I'm so excited about this topic. And do you want to guess what it is?
How would we guess?
No, you guys know, but yeah.
You want to guess?
Drum roll. But this is one of like my favorite things at this point in my life. It is one of like my self-care secrets and tools. In fact, it's part of my skincare routine.
Okay.
Yes. And it
I like
is
that.
boundaries, honeys.
What happened to boundaries?
Healthy boundaries, setting healthy boundaries. Okay. That's the reason for the glow, honey.
Amen to that.
Jesus, of course, but you know, like, so cheers to healthy boundaries. That's what we're going to be talking about. And I'm so excited that Muta is like talking to us about this because I feel like you definitely have some pearls of wisdom to drop for the people on boundaries, right? Yeah, because I feel like you can tell people that have boundaries in life.
Well, true, but I didn't always have boundaries.
No?
No, I didn't
That's
always.
right. Sometimes
When did your
have
boundaries kick
You have to
in?
learn.
When did your boundaries kick in?
Yo, it really did kick in.
When?
It had to kick in.
Tell us
I think
about
a
it.
few years ago.
Oh.
Because I didn't always have healthy boundaries. I would, because I'm what people would call, or used to be, not anymore, what
Yes.
people call nice. I'm very, but
But
I'm
the way
not
you
nice.
said that nice
I'm
was
not
like-
nice. I'm not nice. I'm good.
In the
I'm
words
kind,
of
but
Sir
I'm not
Drake,
nice.
nice for what? man?
Thank you. I love that song. Cheers.
Okay,
It's one
so
of my anthems.
no, but I can definitely relate being a recovering people pleaser.
That too.
Yes,
That too.
and even
that
an
too.
empath. So
That
sometimes you
too,
can
that too.
feel very guilty about
Yes,
setting
exactly. As
boundaries.
an empath too, and people kind of make you feel like, oh, you are hurting them by setting
Yes,
boundaries. You're not hurting you. They would feel like that. They would definitely feel like that because you're not always letting them into your space or giving them how will I put it now? Giving them so much
Access.
power.
privilege.
I would even access
Power,
privilege, power
yeah,
also. Power
yeah.
also, because power, I would say power also. Yeah. I would say power. Because to be honest, a lot of people don't know how to mind their business.
Ooh,
They really
that
Even felt that.
that and fair enough. That
They
is one of the
really
number
don't.
one reasons
Oh.
boundaries are actually very necessary. Yes,
They don't know how
because-
to mind their business. And the beautiful thing about me finding or establishing healthy boundaries is I learned from not having boundaries, and I learned and I saw the effect it had on me and my life.
Absolutely.
So in seeing that, that's when I decided that I have to start enforcing these boundaries. You have situations where even like in my family, I still like in my own family, I have to set boundaries because I have moments where
Absolutely.
people will call me and be like, "Hey, what's going on? When are you getting married?"
Girl.
Those kind of things.
Yeah.
Let us set you up with a nice man. I'm like, excuse me, I can handle my own relationships myself.
Oh, that's deep,
Yeah.
right? Because
Yeah.
fair enough, right? A lot of people won't necessarily think that even a conversation like that and you refusing to answer is necessarily boundaries.
It is.
Can you actually talk more about that?
It is.
Because
Oh, it is. It is.
that hits.
Because I've had situations where people in my family would call and be like, "Hey, what's going on? We don't know who you are seeing. Who are you seeing? Are you seeing anybody? Let us, like I said, let us set you up with someone, a nice man." And I
Yeah, because the thing about that is that even with how well-meaning it is,
Why am
it's
I
actually
feeling so triggered?
yes, it's actually quite invasive,
It
and not
is.
to dance around the issue, even rude
It
in a
is.
way. So yeah,
It is, but when they come the first time, after they hear my response and they see the way I respond to them, they never ask me that question
Again.
again. They just
Fair
let
enough.
it go.
I know that's right.
Yeah.
So, what do you guys think about the difference between healthy boundaries and unhealthy boundaries? Because there's actually
There can be
unhealthy
unhealthy
boundaries,
boundaries.
Yes.
and
Yes.
I've noticed that a lot of people, in the bid to set boundaries, kind of go overboard
Oh yeah.
and they become like closed off.
Yeah.
Have you experienced that? Have you
Yeah.
felt like
Yeah.
maybe there was a time you were so focused on setting boundaries that you kind of overdid it?
Oh yeah, when I was learning, learning to do certain things, you kind of overdo it, or you
Yes,
not do
you miss
enough
your
of
way a
it.
little
So you
before
now
you
need
find
to find you have to find balance.
Yes.
Yeah, but with that for me, it has been more discernment.
Ooh,
I
talk
have to
about
apply
it.
discernment, so I'll know when to and when not to.
Exactly.
So,
Yes.
and I work a lot with my intuition, so that helps me to know exactly, how do I respond to know exactly how to respond to whatever comes to me. So I know how to handle this one or how to, yeah.
Yeah, another interesting analogy I have about this, what you just said about the difference with healthy boundaries and unhealthy boundaries. I just remembered some book that this babe Alex L wrote, and she talked about boundaries, and she said something like healthy boundaries, for instance, is like a picket fence, a little white picket fence, which just says you honor my space. While unhealthy boundaries are like literally a brick wall, like a whole back off. You're not, did you get
You're not
so?
welcome
Yeah,
here.
it's all about
Yeah.
just putting the right
Yeah.
barricades so that people don't take like the mile when you give them an inch. You get it's about like even like when I think about even like the ocean, so the way God like makes the water stop at a certain place for obvious reasons, so that there's no tsunami, so that you get like to keep things in control.
Yeah.
That's healthy boundaries to me.
Yeah.
Obviously, it's unhealthy when you're isolating yourself, or you're becoming mean, or it's just going, no, I don't want anyone in my
That
you
is
get
true.
that
Like
is
somebody
unhealthy.
tries to even
Exactly.
talk to you about, and you're just like, none of your business.
Yeah,
or
yeah.
or I don't have time for this. That kind
Like
of
when you become standoffish,
Yes, yes.
you're
And
so
that's
guarded.
just that's unhealthy.
That's unhealthy.
That's
Yeah.
really unhealthy.
How about you? What do you?
My own experience.
Yeah.
As we were talking, I was kind of like dragging myself low key. No, because I think I'm not sure. You guys
Yes.
can correct me if I'm wrong, but I think I went through my own phase of unhealthy boundaries in that ending of 2019/2020. Because what happened is like August 2019, we lost our dad, and I just felt like so many people in my life then that I thought would come through either with the compassion or the caring or the checking in. They all fell my hand. You guys fell my hand.
Oh wow.
And no facts. And it was like my response to that was to
Yes.
withdraw. So there were
get
so
that.
many people that in fact, that year alone,
Yes.
before we entered 2020, I deleted numbers.
Yeah.
I was like, all of you get that. No, seriously.
Okay.
But then the
Real.
people that were still on my phone, I wouldn't reach out. I wasn't checking on people because I was like, well, y'all ain't checking on me. So why should I check on you? I'm the one going through something.
Yeah.
But then I think it was 2021 or I don't remember, but I like checked myself and I was like, okay, yes, you went through this thing, but other people are going through things
That's
as
right.
well. Two, some people are weird with offering words of comfort.
With grief
maybe.
etiquette.
Oh,
maybe
yes.
Maybe they were thinking about you, but they just didn't know how to reach out. They didn't know what to say.
Yes.
So when I thought about all these things, I started bringing the walls down because I agree with you. I actually put up walls and it had barbed wire on it. I was like, all of you, leave me alone.
Yeah.
Since you people don't like me, since you don't love me, then stay like back it up.
Yeah,
But then I now like chilled and I was like, you know what? It's not. It's, life happens.
Yeah.
Some people maybe like I said didn't know what to say. Some people might not even have known because we assume everyone knows everything because
Everybody doesn't know.
you're in your own little bubble. But some people might not have heard. Some people might have missed that Instagram post or whatever. Do you get?
Yeah.
And also, of course, some people suck, but
Yes.
yes, the people who
I
don't
agree.
suck shouldn't be made to suffer for the ones that do suck.
Exactly.
So when I reasoned all these things, the walls started coming down, and now I think I have a white picket fence again.
And also, you said something really interesting, which I really want you to share. But like when we were just like talking about this off camera, of course, you said something about like like comparing and like relating it to like even like a country's borders and boundaries. So like how that is in place, obviously for to protect the rightful.
Yes.
There was something you said about how
relating
saving
it
your
to unhealthy
strengths.
boundaries versus healthy boundaries.
Yes.
The country thing, I would say unhealthy boundaries is giving America.
Ooh, there's no need to drag no
I'm
nation.
gonna drag them.
Okay.
Oh, wow.
Healthy boundaries is giving Canada. So it's like there's a visa process, you apply, blah 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 blah. If your what do you call it, your papers, your account, everything is given, then you get the visa.
Yes.
Then some countries everything can be good to go, they'll still deny you visa. That's how I would relate unhealthy versus healthy to the boundaries with countries. But to actually like help you get to me talking about what you're saying, we were talking about off camera. It was funny enough, was something our mom said. She said the way every country has a border, like almost every country has a border, and so those borders are like boundaries. And the point is that people who are not citizens of that country can't just go in and out as they please. And so in the same way, we as people need to set boundaries in our lives so that people who are not meant to be in your life, people who are not meant to take up your time, to take up your energy, to take up your space, can't just find their way in there because you've put up necessary boundaries.
Yeah, that's true.
And to tie in with what you said about being nice, that's the problem with being nice. When you're nice, any and everybody will come up in your space, and that's just
if you let them.
But that's the point. Being nice means you allow every BS.
That's what being nice does.
Yes,
to be honest. Because anybody,
and that's why, especially for we women, you need to know the difference between being nice and being kind.
Always,
because kindness means you're good to people, you're approachable, you listen to people. But being nice means that if somebody comes and literally snatches the shirt off your back, you won't stand up for yourself. When people insult you or disrespect you, you're just there like because you're playing nice.
Yeah, that's the word right there, disrespect, right? That's another very obvious reason boundaries are held because
to avoid
in the world of
disrespect.
you don't want insult. So sometimes you just have to place certain rules, like basically terms of endearment. What would they say? But like just certain
terms of engagement.
Terms of engagement. Sorry, like you have to set. Like there's nothing wrong with setting certain barriers and rules.
True.
You get without being, of course, rigid. And again, going back to being mean, but just to not necessarily protect yourself in a standoffish way, but I'll use more like the word preserve for self-preservation, which is another thing that I really, really like consider very important, based on self-care,
Yeah.
based on looking out for you, Lucius. So
Exactly.
you
You
need
can't
to.
pour from an empty
No,
cup.
you can't.
You really
Yeah.
can't. So
Exactly.
you have to establish healthy boundaries so that you can be full enough to give. Yeah.
Fact. Okay, so we basically established why it's necessary to have them boundaries. Now, how do you go about setting these boundaries?
Interesting. Yeah.
Let's go first.
You go first. Tell us, what are you thinking?
Me, my main how to set boundaries is a very simple two-letter word. No. Like I learned to say no from my innermost
From your
being
gut.
with my fullest chest. Because
And that's a lost
like
art.
you said, people pleasing, being
Yeah.
nice, you will struggle with no. You will end up getting roped into things that you have no business being a part of.
Absolutely.
You will be in relationships that it did not concern you.
That don't serve purpose.
You will be helping out at somebody's baby dedication, even though you don't rate the person and their baby. No, these are the facts.
Oh my God. She got a mean streak this Sunday.
No, but it's true. Like you will commit to so many things that are not for
It is so
you.
true.
That
Don't
have
be
no
afraid
business
of
with you
using
just because
that
you don't
word.
know
It's
how
so
to
true.
say
Yeah.
no.
Yes.
And for me, I had to finesse it, so I had to come up with different ways of learning how to say no. There's no thank you. There's oh hell no. There's thanks for thinking of me, but no. There's oh wait, those are
And I noticed how there's all no in all of them. That's most important.
There is I am not interested.
Exactly.
thank you.
There is it doesn't align with my purpose.
Amen. Love it.
I can't do this right now.
Classy ways.
But maybe next time. That's a very packaged Mr. Nice Guy. No. It's all still no. And I feel like when it comes to setting boundaries, you need to be good at saying no.
Absolutely.
And you also need to know that it's not every time you have to explain your no. Because some people will ask you, why now? I said no. No is no. Just go with it
I
like
said
that.
what I said.
Go with God. I said no.
I said what I said. No, so true. Because yes, like I definitely have been on the table of I will continue to say I'm a serious recovering people pleaser. I've been that girl that just always, I'm afraid of confrontation. I'm afraid of making people uncomfortable. I don't like to be uncomfortable. I want people to like me. I want to leave a good taste in people's mouth. All these things that I just used to tell myself. And like you said, one of the things that used to do to me was that I just used to overextend myself.
Girl,
you get?
you be
And
tired.
it's
You
not-
be drained all the you
yeah.
be drained all the time.
And the same way, literally, you're supposed to be a generous giver. So you should also be a generous giver of your time, of your space. It's not literally even just you get. So if you're now starting to do it from a place of your heart isn't in it, in quotes, but it's just something you're doing just to please.
Performance.
Yeah, exactly. If
You
it's
won't do it well.
performative, then you can start to, really overextend yourself, and
That's true.
it wouldn't be worth it. And that's something that I really, really learned, and I'm now enjoying the boundary side of life because now that I have better boundaries in place, it doesn't mean that, like you said, I'm now a mean person. I'm still, at least the best of my ability, holding on to my values of being kind to people. But the point is that now I am that thing about when like the pressure in a plane goes down, they say put your mask on first before helping other people.
Yeah.
Do you get that? That is literally the way I relate it because you have to pour from
From
a full cup. You can't pour from an empty cup.
Yeah.
So like
Take care of
preserving
yourself
myself more,
first.
saying
Yes.
no more, and just another thing I said this year that I vowed to myself, and so far so good. I was like, I'm not going to be forcefully invited into other people's emergencies.
Oh, amen to
Yes.
that.
So it's like I will help
Setting
out.
boundaries
Yeah,
one-on-one.
Yeah.
honestly, like it's not. You don't always have to just have this borrowed sense of urgency about another person's do you
Yeah.
get? So it's like,
It's
and these are all parts of setting boundaries.
Yeah.
When you haven't been doing it, it's rough in the beginning because you start to feel very bad,
Mhm.
you feel guilty, but it's necessary.
It's important to be kind to yourself first before you're kind to anybody else.
Mm.
And even as you're kind to others, there should be a balance. Are you kind? Be asking yourself, are you kind to yourself as much as you are being kind to this person? So you don't just
Because that's
hand
the
rain and
worst,
expend
yeah.
yourself. Yeah.
Because you set the tone
Mhm.
for how people should treat you.
Very true.
Exactly. So the way you treat yourself, how good you do you, is how good other people will also. Yeah.
What you just said reminds me of a second way to set boundaries, which was volunteered by good old Uncle Ernie.
Yes.
He said, how you treat people is a way to set boundaries because you know the thing of treat people how you want to be treated.
Very
Yes.
true.
So if people notice that you hold yourself in a certain regard, that there are certain things that you do not do
Allow.
to them or
Absolutely.
to yourself,
Mm.
in a way that too is setting a boundary. Do you get?
Facts,
Because
That's true.
it's like people will know that, okay, for example, with like your space now.
Mhm.
If when I come to visit you, I see that everywhere is very tidy
Yes.
to the point of almost OCD.
Mhm.
Unless my head is touching.
Oh,
Sha,
some people's
I'll-
head touch
yes,
like that.
exactly.
Some people are
Unless
wild.
my head is
People are
touching,
wilder than
I
others.
will respect what I see going on there. So I won't
True.
just throw my shoes
That's
about
true.
anyway.
That's
And in the same way, if people see that you are someone that talks to people with kindness, with respect,
They'll speak.
you don't raise your voice, you're very warm and all of that.
Yes.
It's kind of like your way of letting
ripple
people
effect.
know that
That
this
is
is how
true.
I
That is true.
expect and deserve to be treated. Do you get?
Facts. Very
And
true.
that is setting a boundary
That's
as well.
you're right.
Yeah.
Very,
Absolutely.
very
Yeah.
true. Very true.
What about you, Mutad? What are your
Mhm.
tips or your how-tos when it comes to setting boundaries? What do you do?
Hmm. Like you, I say no.
Yes. Very important.
But my no's are usually very interesting. Like I said before, I would say I'm not interested in this. It does not align with my purpose.
I love that one.
I have something
It's that
else.
for me.
I have something else I'm doing at this time, so I can't really take on this.
Meanwhile,
It's
you
too
can
much.
be in bed pressing food. Also.
Well, that one
But
day.
that's your business.
No, exactly. But also, I'm taking care of myself at
That's
the time.
right.
Like, yeah, like I can decide that, oh, I was called to do something else today, and I said, no,
Yeah.
I'm here. I want to do self care Sunday instead.
Exactly.
Because I know that this is more, helps me grow a lot more than that. So maybe somebody called me, like you said, to come and do, help them to cook rice for their baby dedication.
Literally.
I mean, it's good to honor even.
Or even in
invitations
business,
like
people that
but
call you to help them make money, but
you
you're trying to pay
understand?
you.
Yeah,
Funny
exactly.
story.
Free work.
Before
Yeah,
we got
platform.
Evelyn, I reached out to another contact
Yeah.
who has helped us with like a video project in the past. And I was like, oh, please, we have this thing we're doing on Sunday. Can you come help us? And he was like, what's your budget? I was like, uncle.
He set a boundary on you, didn't
He set a boundary on me, and I respected it.
As you
Listen,
should.
He was like, what's your budget? And I was like, sir, it's not that. It's not that deep. But don't worry, obviously, your transport, all of that. He was like, I can't. And I was like,
Love it.
valid.
Absolutely.
Very valid.
Absolutely.
I mean, because he didn't start explaining. Because
Like you said, you don't
he's
always
like,
have
oh
to
no, I
over-explain.
can't come because I'm doing this. No, he just
Yes.
said I can't, and that gave.
That's-
I was like,
that's
look
okay.
at you giving me material for the conversation, enjoy yourself.
Without even knowing it.
bro.
That is okay.
So true, man.
Yeah.
Just being able to decline an invitation that you don't feel like you were saying aligns with your purpose.
I feel like that would
The
be a
main
great
thing.
guideline for
Yeah.
everybody.
Yeah.
To be honest,
Yeah.
find your purpose, work in your purpose, and if anything does not align, don't be afraid or don't be worried about saying say or no. I can't do this because it doesn't align with my purpose and what I'm doing. Really, it doesn't. Yeah, and just focus on your purpose. That's what you should do.
Absolutely.
act that
Absolutely.
I agree.
And also, when it comes to setting boundaries, another thing that I feel is very important to mention is that, like you said in the beginning, people think of setting boundaries only like, oh, with quote unquote letting new people into their life, but even with the people already in your
Yes.
life,
yeah, like
especially
Like you said, family.
because we Africans, we be known
Yeah.
how family can be. So, do you have
Oh my God. The
any
spotlight
any
again.
anecdotes on how you set boundaries with your family?
Nothing new under the sun. I'll just still agree again with what Amuta said because with family,
Or friends,
yeah,
family and
exactly, with
friends.
family, with friends, most of the time, at least, you can always hope that it is indeed coming from a good place, right? So it's coming maybe, but with certain conversations, like the one that you said, marriage, I think it's just emotional intelligence to not ask people certain
Do you
questions.
get like
Exactly.
oh
So
marriage or
yeah, or the
children
way they even
or
say like there are certain things you shouldn't comment on, especially things you know that someone can change in that instant. So the way Nigerians will be like see someone and just be like, ah, you've put on, no, you've added, like it's rude. Stop. Do you get?
yeah.
And there are certain things that again, like I'm speaking from someone that was a people pleaser and was just very, for lack of a better word, like shy. Like I even think I used to embarrass easily. So like I think because I remember when like around that 2018 period when our dad was sick and like my dad was like dying and I was of course quite depressed and I was like eating a lot. I added a lot of weight. And basically till today I've never been the same weight that I once was. And people would just say things like,
And you're trying to work
do
on
you
this
get
and then somebody's
exactly? And
coming
then
to you and
someone is
saying,
just like,
you have
yeah.
added weight.
And
Like what?
I would actually like laugh and like, do you get like I would laugh
No.
about it, but
Didn't I
now
tell you the day I did something crazy to somebody?
when you responded, you
He
gave the
was like,
person
but
back, right?
you are really putting on, bruh. He never expected it. I was like, yeah, actually, what happened is that
What had
my
happened
dad has
was
been sick and he died, and so now I'm going through like major depression from my grief. And
he made the guy
depression
so
makes people
uncomfortable
eat
in
sometimes,
return.
and it also makes it difficult for you to work out. And then COVID happened. So, yes, I put on a lot of weight, and it's not just physical weight, I'm even emotionally weighed down. Almost, the guy was like,
But
in
you
my head, I
see,
was
this
laughing. I was
this is
like,
what
serves you
happens.
right.
This is what happens when and exactly like she's saying, she basically now made him uncomfortable, which is the way it actually should be. Because when you don't, sorry to say,
Yes,
respect yourself,
because he can come
you
again
can
another day and he'll keep
exactly, but he will
saying
know
it's
not to
yes,
say that
you know not
again.
to
You gotta
exactly.
check
Exactly.
them.
But
Yeah.
me, like in the past, I'll just like laugh about it and just like, and things like that now allows it to continue.
Very true.
Do you get? So again,
Yes,
that's
once we
like,
start laughing about certain remarks, certain comments, certain remarks,
That's
you
terrible.
yes,
allow
another
like the person is
even,
gonna come back again.
like Queen Evelyn, even said something to me the other time too. Like, remember when we met up for lunch with Evelyn? She talked about something that happened in her workspace, and she was like, "That's the thing
Mm,
about things like that. When someone does something appropriate or says something that makes you uncomfortable, check it there." Because
Immediately, oh, don't let
honestly,
that thing
check
slide
it there. That
because
is part of
yeah,
setting good
I
boundaries.
yeah.
agree.
Because once you check it, you disallow it.
Oh yeah. For me,
People
how
don't always treat you the way
yeah,
you deserve to be treated.
exactly.
They treat you based on what you tolerate. Do
Yep.
you get? So if something makes you uncomfortable, if someone says something inappropriate, whether it's anything from marriage to your weight to your family, just things that are personal and sometimes can be very sensitive issues. You reserve the right to check the person. Obviously, check the person with as much tact as you can too. But
Sometimes you don't even have to say a word. Like when they speak,
no response is
your
also your body language.
yeah, I'm very good with that one because you don't smile,
Poker
you don't
face.
say anything, poker face. You act like you
So
didn't
true
even hear what
though.
the
So
person. Some of
true.
them will even go
So
as far as,
true.
didn't you hear what I said or something like that? And I look at you like,
Honestly,
really?
you're even so right because that's another thing that's actually been
You
making
don't
me
have to say
live a very
anything.
peaceful new era of my life. I no longer send long paragraphs and stories that touch. I
Oh,
don't have strength for that anymore.
deliverance.
I'm like, I do not have the time for essays and cool stories. Like, if you don't even deserve
Deliverance.
that engagement,
There's
listen.
absolutely no need.
Yeah,
Just
and
be
sometimes
quiet.
indeed, silence really be the best answer.
You're the best though. And with silence, they feel because they're not getting a response from you
Yes.
or a
Which is
reaction
a
Yes.
from
response.
you. Yes, that's a response. They don't get a
Yes.
reaction from you. So it kind of eats them up a lot.
It
Because,
troubles
why
them.
why you not even
Them.com.
why you not even faced by this? Why you not responding? It's not is this not affecting you the way I thought it would?
I did that to one Yoruba man. We were on the phone, and he was like, "Yeah." He in his mind was flirting, but I thought he was being disrespectful. So he said something dumb in his flirty mind, and I was just like, "It's like, hello, Tara." I was like, "Yes," and he said something else. I was like, "Oh, okay." Then he repeated the other thing. I went mute again, like dead silence.
Nice.
He was now like, "Did you hear what I said?" I literally said no.
Let me tell you.
It's like, okay,
Nice.
gotcha.
Very nice. Let me tell you a story. So one day I went somewhere to buy something. I was online. I went to buy snacks or pastries.
Yeah.
And this guy was behind. He walked in, like I was close to the door because there were like four other people in front of me. He walks in and immediately he says, "Why are you taller than me?" I knew it was me he was talking to. I don't know you. Like
Because
I knew
why
that it was
has a
me
long
because I'm the
tail?
only person that
People
is
are
that
awkward
tall there.
small talk.
Why are
Bless
you
his
taller
heart
than me?
not.
I said I knew it was me, but I
Yes,
didn't
he
know. But I
doesn't
was still
answer.
looking ahead, and he walks in front of me, just to look at my face or maybe say,
Yeah.
"Didn't you hear me?" My face was just straight. He looked at me, I looked at him straight. Like I gave him, I looked at him like this,
I love it.
and he said sorry.
Oh my
Nice.
The cashier in front was just laughing. She was just there. She was not laughing. I was like,
Well,
You guys had a whole
no.
conversation and he didn't even know it. So you were like,
I didn't say a
Nothing.
word, nothing. Because
Facts.
like, what is your problem?
Facts,
Why are you
facts.
taller than me?
Like, what's that?
That's your. If you said, "Hello, how are you doing?" I would have actually smiled and said, "Hi, I'm good. How are you?" Really?
Facts.
But what
Exactly.
is that's your opening line, and you're not even talking to me. You are standing behind me and you're saying, "Why are you taller than me?" Rude much.
Another place
Mata
where
wasn't here
setting
for it.
boundaries is very, very, very important is in the dating, like
Dating,
man.
relationships.
Every
If you don't-
relationship
Every
requires
relationship
Relationship
requires
across board.
boundaries, honestly.
siblings,
I can imagine even if
parents everywhere.
it's very hard to set boundaries
Friends.
in marriage. Did you get? And
Ooh.
like we said, marriage, family, people that it's harder to set boundaries
Those are harder
with.
because
Please,
they're
still
let's
those
need
put
people
our
are
to-
close
hands
to
still
you.
need
forward.
to-
Do any of us here have wedding rings?
No, this is just
Okay,
the
so we'll
fashion
just
one.
free the
But
marriage.
obviously not.
So we would say
I'll
just
dating
leave it for them.
We would say
But
dating like you
yes.
said,
Do you
she's
get?
right
But yeah,
about the
dating
yeah.
for me, like you said, when it comes to is it be embarrassing easy? Although for
Yes.
me, I think it was more like I was still coming into my own, should I
Yeah.
say, coming into my own as a woman. So I went through a phase in my life where I had the worst boundaries when it came to men. Like literally men that had no like
Business. Now that in
business.
retrospect,
I had no business having anything to do with them. Sometimes when I think about it, I'm like, but yeah, you live and you learn.
Oh yeah, you do.
So
Those are lessons.
when it comes to dating, dealing with the special gender, how do you guys
We are all
establish
special
boundaries?
genders, by the
very
way.
special.
We are all special people. No gender is more special than the other.
Girl.
We are all special, but carry
Girly.
on. How do we establish
Yes,
boundaries?
how do you establish boundaries?
You
in
have to
dating?
say, you have to keep on saying what you like and what you don't like, what
Okay,
you want
preach.
and what you don't
keep
want.
it real, basically.
You
Yeah.
have to keep saying that. And if they don't want what you want, then it does not align. And it's not a problem. It
Back
just
to
does not
aligning,
align. So
Joe.
if it does
Yeah.
not align, then you decide to go your
Yeah,
separate
I learned
ways.
that
With
later.
love, you
I
guys
used to
can be
think I
friends, or
had
you can
to.
you can talk to each other
Yeah.
once in a while, that kind of thing. But still have boundaries, because if you go your separate ways and you go into another relationship, another person goes into another relationship, you can't be as chummy as you should.
Yes.
I used to make the mistake of thinking that I had to go with the flow to be likable.
Mm-hmm.
And that's, I think, something like other women especially can relate to.
Yes.
Because like you said, maybe a guy says or does something that makes you uncomfortable. And instead of you to just speak up and say, please, can you not talk to me like this? Or can you not say that? I don't like that. You would either just do like a little
An awkward
smile,
laugh or
or on the
something.
inside you cussed him out, but in the name of being a lady, you now just be like, but no, like that's the other thing I love about getting older. I feel like the
Yep,
older
same
you
here.
get, the
Muta
more
is
your
like testify,
the more
Timmy.
your healthy boundary serum sets in. 'Cause you're just like
Absolutely.
there are just some things and
You have lower tolerance
lower
Yeah.
tolerance
like
for
you said, things that don't
Yes.
align
Yes.
with you.
Yeah.
Yeah, and me, there's nothing even special that I necessarily have. I'll just say it's the same thing that cuts across all relationships. So with dating, I will just say that don't shape shift. Don't don't
Don't be one
morph
person
don't
today,
morph
next
into
person.
something that you're not
Be
to be a
consistent.
people
Yeah.
pleaser.
Be
Exactly.
yourself.
Like you said,
Yeah.
let what you like be what you like. Say it with your full
Yeah.
chest.
Let's also
Establish those
understand.
boundaries early.
Yeah. Let's also understand that we're all coming from different places.
Exactly.
Where I'm coming from is not where
Yeah.
he is coming from. Yeah. So, and where you're coming from is not where he is coming from.
Absolutely.
So we understand that, and that's why communication is very important. So we communicate every step of the way. That's how you understand. That's how you establish boundaries through communication.
True.
But also through body language sometimes.
Yeah.
Because sometimes
Body
you don't-
language
yeah.
is communication.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
So so we communicate every step of the way. Like B said, was it that said that? Right?
Yeah.
Address it as it
Right on there.
comes. If you can't address it in that moment, always remember to address it as soon as you can.
Yeah,
So just always
because
address it.
now from club that's the start.
Thank
If you're
you.
the type that might
Thank you.
cry, shout,
Thank you.
or get the shakes when you're having a
Emotional.
conversation, you can wait. But the moment you enter your house,
you.
just send him
Collect
that
yourself
message.
and
Thank
then
you.
yeah.
None of us are perfect.
Yeah.
Some people don't even know what they're doing and when they're doing it. And also because maybe from where they were coming from their previous so someone who they've been dating before, from their previous relationships, the person has allowed certain things and they did not know that this was wrong. So when they come to
Exactly.
you have to address it. Say, you see this for me, or
Doesn't
if it
work
works
for
for
me.
that
Yeah.
person, or if it works for everybody else.
Absolutely.
I mean, we are all different. We are all unique
Absolutely.
individuals. It does not work for me.
Absolutely.
But then if they keep doing that thing over and over again and you keep addressing it, at some point you have to just stop addressing it and just
Bye.
you have to
That's
stop
me.
addressing it and
If
just,
I
By
have
the
to
way,
tell you
that is
something,
a part of setting boundaries. Cutting,
knowing when to
letting
cut
go,
someone up.
knowing when to let
Because
go.
some people will tap dance all over those boundaries that you set.
It's true.
They will do step up choreo on your boundaries.
Bruh,
No, I'm not like they will be like boundary schmoundry. That's some people.
Oh, yeah.
And such people just like you literally have to
a
sever.
lot of time those people are not for you.
Yeah, those are not your people.
And yeah,
People that don't respect your boundaries are not
exactly,
your people.
this thing you just this thing you
that
just
do
said.
not respect your boundaries
So
are not your
true.
people. That's how you know.
That's how you know.
Because once a person is not respecting your boundaries, just know they're not for you.
They're not
Exactly.
healthy for you.
Exactly. They are not even about.
Yes,
they are
because
not just for
yeah,
you.
because
don't like
I'm
you.
trying to remember the exact way it goes, but something about the people that are that get mad when you set boundaries are
Thank
people that
you.
benefited from you not having any.
Thank you.
So when someone is
Church
being,
ambassador.
honestly, like we can just collect offering and call it a day from
That's
here. But literally,
Yeah.
people that get the most abrasive, the most mad
Yes.
at boundaries you set, is because they benefited from you not having any,
Yes.
and that is why you really need to put those boundaries up
E.g.,
with those kinds of
toxic bosses, which brings us to workplace boundaries. And another thing I've realized since we've been having
toxic
this
bosses,
conversation is that the
toxic family
boundaries in
members.
everyday, like your family, friends, dating, it's the same.
Cuts
Oh, it's the same.
all
Everything
across.
is connected.
Yes.
It's the same. Yeah, that's true.
And in the workplace, many people have issues with setting boundaries. Their boss can call them at 10 p.m. and be
Exactly.
like, that's like, work is 8 to 5. Why are you calling my phone by 9?
As much
And some
as-
people, in the name of being
Some people are
employee
just
of the year,
workaholics
they will
as well. They don't know when to
they will
say
still allow their boss to cross those boundaries.
yes.
Well, I think I'm not a 9 to 5 girl because if I were, try calling me at 5:01. Nothing for you.
You're like the Gen Z. They
Not
like,
for
oh,
me.
my mental health.
some people are okay with that,
I
and that's their business. They can
Yeah,
handle
that's
it.
their
Yeah,
business.
they can. That's why we're all different. Some people are okay with their bosses calling them at 3 a.m. and then telling them what to do and telling them to do some work. That's their business. You know yourself,
Bruh.
and then know yourself. If you are okay with that, that's your business. But I also want to say, honor people's boundaries.
Always.
Honor people's boundaries.
Yeah.
Don't take shit personal. Don't take it personal. If somebody tells you that, oh, I can't do this because, like you said, like the person who
Exactly.
gave you the bill,
Yes.
He was like,
you'll
no.
be like, okay, fine, thank you. It's your. Don't take it personal. It's
Exactly.
not. Yeah. I feel like that's where entitlement comes in when you start to feel like,
All right, ladies, we gotta tie it in actually because we on the clock.
Entitlement.
You can talk about it.
Yes, I love that.
There's
But
definitely not
yes.
enough time to ever finish talking about boundaries. But
Well, so yeah, the main thing we've established is that whether it's in the workplace, whether it's dating, whether it's with your friends and family, setting boundaries looks the same. Number one, learn to say no. Number
with your
two,
full chest.
express your feelings. Don't bottle
Communicate,
things in.
yes.
If someone says or does something that triggers you or offends you or whatever, speak up. If nothing else, so that it doesn't happen again.
Exactly.
Or like we said, so that you can confirm that this person is an up. Because when someone actually likes you, they honor your boundaries.
They sure do.
Facts. And then also, I like what you said about replying in the moment. Whether you're replying with a stank face or you're actually going to be one of those eloquent people who will be like, I put it to you that, whatever, just address it
Respectfully.
in the moment or as soon as possible, right? And then finally, I feel, I don't know if we already said that, but like another good way to set boundaries is deal with the person directly. If for example, I say something to you, and instead of you to just tell me, Tara, I'm not cool, you go and tell Evelyn or be like, can you imagine what Tara did? That's some high school ish.
That's not even direct communication. So, yeah.
Exactly, and that's not a way to set boundaries
No,
because
it's not.
you're just still dancing around the issue instead of confronting it head
Yeah,
on.
but let us also be patient with certain people because it takes time to actually be able to confront and to be able to, tell them in that moment that,
Yes,
oh, you
exactly.
see,
Yes.
because it could be somebody like a boss, your father or something, your
yes.
mom, or you get somebody who is an older sibling.
Yeah.
So they just, I feel like learn to set the boundaries, but like the foundation of everything is loving yourself. So know how to set it and love yourself. Sometimes you don't really have to tell them, but they will know.
Exactly.
That's where body language comes in.
So
That's where
true.
the way you respond to it comes
So
in.
true.
I even this thing you said just made me remember this really cool video I saw on Insta of some mom helping her like baby, like a young daughter, like baby. And that's something that Nigerian parents like hardly is like, do you get, because children are just like as if they're not allowed to have boundaries, but they should as well. It's even the earlier the better, right? And also in the same vein, it's also not too late to establish boundaries, even if you've been a people pleaser your whole life, or
You can
you
start
just feel like
today.
it's never too late, or it's never you're never too young to start establishing healthy boundaries.
It's a little bit tough sometimes because three of us, I know that we grew up in homes where our parents are, they we have healthy boundaries with our parents. But just imagine, especially in Nigeria, there are a lot of people who don't have healthy boundaries with their parents. Their parents are always, they want to
even with
know what
other
are you
family
doing,
members.
what exactly you get. They want from when they're little, so it's kind of tough to actually establish boundaries in that kind of environment.
Very true.
So what I would say in that kind of environment, just go with, when you find yourself in that kind of situation, just go with him and realize, okay, this is not going to last forever. At some point, you become an adult, and
you get out of there.
Get out of there.
Evelyn is looking at me with those pretty eyes.
So you guys, basically, the summary of all our blah 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 is go out there and set healthy boundaries today.
Go into the world and set healthy
and
boundaries.
Also, another thing I didn't say earlier, but I feel like I just need to say it for us to sign out, is that God has given all of us certain talents, gifts, experiences, backgrounds, and we're meant to use all of this to impact and bless other people along life's journey. However, if you do not set healthy boundaries, boo-boo, what's going to happen is that you're going to deplete yourself, exhaust yourself, and then when the people that actually need your energy, your vim, the light that you carry come along, you will be too depleted to give anything because you've been giving it out to the wrong people because you weren't setting boundaries.
Ooh.
So please go out and set boundaries today. Happy Self-Care Sunday, loves.
Oh yeah, guys, we should. Thank you, guys. See you on the next one.